Hello ladies and gents, I am Anna Diffin, and welcome back to From the Depths, Ashes of the Empire Community Edition. So, looking at the designs we're going to be utilising in this episode. So, we have 5 new designs and a replacement tank for one of Richard Dastardly's tanks. He was the Mark 10, it's now gone up a couple of ranks to the Mark 12, so I'm going to be adding this into the 3rd Community Force. Otherwise it is pretty much the same as before. First of all though, we have the Lehman Russ Demolisher by DeMadDoc82. Similar to the previous Lehman Russ, though this one I believe has a cram cannon. Yes it does. A last cannon at the front and the couple of heavy bolters on the sides there and there. So let's see how this performs against our friendly neighbourhood Taipan. Yep, cram cannon does do significant damage, as to be expected really. The shield at the front there, defending rather well the turret. So a couple of shots taken off the tracks from both sides of the Taipan. And Taipan's main gun pointing up randomly into the sky. Maybe the AI has gone wonky or something. Missed there. Simple laser doesn't seem to be firing, but maybe that's just got disabled. Yeah, I think it might have just been disabled. Oh! The main turret got popped by the Taipan's armament. Yep. Explosion there, went through, flipped through the turret. It's actually heat shells in the Taipan, which has been causing a lot of damage. I didn't realise it was heat, I just thought it was a flak fragmentation, but no, there is heat in it. But yeah, so the Demolisher is definitely good. Turret's a little bit weak, but probably a bit more robust than the APS version. Next up, we have the Burnstar Bushwhacker Infantry Fighting Vehicle by Red the Rage. A fairly cheap 5,000 material design. And so not expecting huge amounts to come from this at this point in the campaign. However, it does still seem a decent enough design, and I expect it to be quite speedy, with the number of tracks and the jets there. Is it actually going to fire its main gun? So it's holding fire due to failsafe. Okay, so let's actually destroy the vehicle and let's have a look at this, because if that's the failsafe is causing a problem, I need to actually remove the failsafe on this vehicle. So I don't like adjusting designs much, but if they are actually faulty, I will do so. So let's just remove the failsafe. It's unlikely to be shooting itself anyway, due to the position and size of the turret. And then similarly, let's remove the one on the actual missile launchers as well, if it actually has one, which it doesn't seem to. So hopefully that will now work properly. So I will save this over. So save over that version there. And now send it against the Taipan. There we go, it's now firing its weapon. Doing a little better there. Fairly small round, but it's only a 5,000 design. So I will probably spawn in a couple of these. I think anything below about 5,000, I think it will start now spawning a couple of them in, just so we can actually see them used in the combat more properly, because I am certainly past the point of utilising 5,000 cost designs solo. As can be seen here, this is not able to take on the Taipan solo, but a couple of them would probably be okay to do it. As seen, Taipan just blows up the turret. So not looking at anything special from it, but it is only a 5,000 cost design. Next up, we have the Heavy Hawk by Charcharodon. I think this is actually a flying vehicle by Charcharodon. Oh yeah, it's a big flying vehicle, and those are some absolutely enormous missiles. Goodness me. Would have probably spin blocked some of this wing surface to actually make the drag reduce, because this is quite slow for a plane. I think quite a few of our tanks are faster than this, though it isn't cheaty as spin block wings kind of are. So let's send this against the Taipan over here. You see those massive array of missiles being launched in all directions. So not many seem to have locked on target, which is a little bit of a problem. It's kind of pointing the wrong direction. Here they come. They're very slow, more cruise-type missiles. Probably not going to be able to keep up with much of the Lightning Hood's or Flare's designs, though when they do strike, they are doing a decent amount. I see this actually being a lot better against something like the Onyx Watch or Steel Empire, which I'm not actually facing just yet. Also there, yep, here it comes again. So yes, probably spawned this in a little bit too early at this point in the campaign, but I do think its missiles are going to be very good. They've basically disabled the Taipan in just a single salvo, and not much of that salvo struck its mark. If it flew a bit closer to the force, this massive spread of missiles will be able to keep on target with basically everything, which is definitely going to be very useful. Probably just finishing off and destroying designs which have already been disabled. But that is something which I do kind of need. Yep, and big hits from basically everything there. So yeah, nice explosive rounds. Probably not as necessarily as effective as, say, a fragmentation or something, but they're definitely good. This, I can imagine this being very good in Quest for Nita, changed into a torpedo bomber. Next, we have the M179 AFV by Void. The T-Long. It has a small gun and several missiles and quite cool looking little pods at the sides there. Does have ejectors on the main gun. Spawned it a little bit closer to the Taipan, but its cannon does seem to be able to cope with that. It's just the missiles pinged off a little bit too early. It's a fast little design. Yeah, this Hesh round's doing a decent amount. Just a hit, and there we go, the next barrage of missiles striking. Good all-round vehicle, it seems. And towards the lighter scale. Yeah, this is 30. That was a bit more what I expected the light vehicles at this point in the campaign to be. The heavy ones being basically twice that. Yeah, nice little shell, and the ejectors will keep the main gun alive. It's taken disabling shots, but the vehicle is still basically operational. How much is left up? Yeah, so it's at 77%. So below 70%, it's still actually alive. Not operational, but alive. So that is very good feature, having those ejectors there. And the shells just land all the way around the fight. And yes, this was the tank, as you can see. Pretty much there. It does seem... Oh, it has got a railgun now, I think. Or did it have a railgun before? I cannot remember. Still. Pretty much the same tank as before. I think I've picked a different camo scheme this time though for it. And finally, we have the wooden medic. This is a repair tentacle and lands vehicle for use in combat using lure. I should have really kept the other designs in, so let's bring in these couple of little designs and have them face off against the Taipan. So then some damage can be done. You can see how this works in actual battle. So as the Taipan is completely murdered. Let's spawn in a King Cobra as well then. Have some damage actually done to the vehicles. So it's got land system, which keeps it a little bit protected. should now head over towards this tank to repair it. See, yep, it's coming over. It's pathing over, but taking quite a few strikes at the moment. But surviving. And there we go, it's repairing. It's friendly up, but unfortunately it is taking a lot of heat, mainly because the other designs are dead. But it's still keeping everything alive. And that is the most important thing for a healer. Keep the main tank alive, and yourself. Now you can, all the DPS can stay and die afterwards. Yeah, definitely worthwhile. And I do need something to replace the heal caster, which was destroyed in the previous episode. Let's head over into the main campaign and see how these perform properly. So this force down here is probably where most of these designs are going to be added in. Second community, yeah, I think I'll just add them all into the first community. Some of these forces are getting quite large, but what I am going to do this episode is actually spawn in slightly smaller combat forces initially, so we can see how they all perform as a unit before going out and doing the full massive swarms. I will still be using the swarms because that was quite fun, but just for now I will be utilising slightly smaller groups together. And I was going to build the pipeline this episode. Well, I've got a pipeline, it's just not very good. I need to go do that. So I'll save the game and quickly go build the pipeline. And so finally we have the pipeline unit. So it's just a load of material boxes on rubber stilts. This is then linked into all resource groups, and so will actually act as a pipeline. So it won't keep anything, but it actually acts, because it only has material storage, it will also transport fuel and energy, as well as munition, so long as other things within these resource zones actually want it. So this is essentially the pipeline. A very, very simple, cheap thing. This only costs about 800 materials, so that's kind of good. Okay, so now I actually have the pipeline ready to build, so I can actually start building that all the way to the front lines. I also need to go over to third community force, jump over one of these, and load in this tank. Now it's just to build the pipeline. Okay, let's build up the pipeline right along here. So it's probably over-egged that one a little bit, but that was the first one I built. The hauler actually repairs these really rather fast, which is good. There we go. There we go. Now all of these are in the same resource group, so they're actually keeping each other fueled up, which is good. Okay, we've got an advancing wet flares tap force there. They will come and attack me momentarily. Okay, so I've got a blockaded fleet while I'm building this. You can see now that all of these are within the same resource group, which is absolutely fantastic. So this lot are ready for battle. There's chaos, so you can rapture all there. I'm going to play this one at full speed because this is just the large dedicated combat force, so basically they'll be tapped to murder everything in short order. Like, so actually spawning really close to them. Chaos could end up killing quite a few designs. That's if it doesn't get murdered first of all, which could very easily happen. Massive barrage, and instantly the particle accelerators fire and kill the Rapture. And swarm of missiles kill the nuke. And I think that's the priest? I can't tell because there's smoke everywhere. Chaos though, coming in, and it's coming in to kill the particle accelerator tank. Oh no, that's the missile one. Ow, 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 ow. And it's actually murdering the repair drone. The repair heli is keeping it alive, just about. Wow, the repair drone was hit by itself, but it survived long enough to keep the repairs on missile tank. And the Chaos is now being defeated. It didn't quite manage to kill its target. Nope, they're all surviving. All the tanks nicely lined up, it seems, firing into the distance. What's Nix Mini doing? Haven't seen you for a while. You're just kind of drifting around. I suppose your target is dead. Because this force is almost 35k blocks. That's kind of beefy. Well, the battle was finished. That is good. Let's pull everything and then let us repair it all. So yeah, there's not too much damage in the end. Good repairs from those flying vehicles. Yeah, each one of these is only 800 materials, so 860. It's not too expensive, and this is the maximum radius you can have, which is 200,000 storage on board. Technically, I could go to localized resources now. Or is that only a campaign setting on? I could actually change it to localized. Interesting. Yeah, because I have it centralized into it. I could go to localized. I'll consider that. Actually, what's your opinion? Should I move it to localized rather than the centralized material? Because now I have the pipeline set up, I can actually do that, no problem. So there we go. Fuel is now set up in the pipeline. It's now being distributed evenly to all forces. Let's add in the other force as well, because if I am going to go to actual localized resources, I need all of the mining operations together. And it's not exactly taking very long with the hauler to build all this up. I could actually build a faster one. That's something I do need to do. I need to build a superior version of my hauler builder units. One thing I can also do, now I have a pipeline set up, I can actually have ammo builders. So a structure somewhere which produces tons and tons of ammo passively and then shares it to the front lines. Actually a proper supply route, which would be kind of cool. All our resources is now in a singular pipeline. Excellent. Our front line down here is separated, but that isn't too much of a worry. Small amounts of fuel being distributed around here, so I probably need to increase the number of refineries I have in this location. And now let us take off the resource view and observe this combat. The one with all the new forces in it. But first of all, let us organise the force so that it doesn't all kill itself. So, I'm actually going to take it right the way down to probably around about this size battle. Maybe a little bit less. About 17k. Yeah, the breeze and that. So, we do outnumber them a lot, but this is going to allow all these new designs to be seen more clearly, and I'm actually going to try and observe them more in this battle as well. Let's see how it'll do. So we've got new designs and last episode's designs just in this location. Not facing very much at the moment. We've got the repair there. Wooden medic. Oh, you really like going forwards. Oh, so those designs are basically already dead. Something's taking salvage. I know it's a very orky thing to do. I kind of don't want you to do that. Its factory is basically surrounded now. That's good for me because it will prevent it from fleeing. So it's disabled you. Cannon just shot through the turret of this there. Why aren't you moving? Is your oh, your target's dead. That'd be why. Oh, misses and that fire straight away. Oop. Got stuck in the gantry there. But it still operates and wow, you are dead. New little tank's just waiting for new prey. Oh, that's really bad position. Spawned right on top of it. Yep, the rams are... yeah. Good grief. Are you actually going to survive? You might actually. You're a pretty robust design. Just that bomb just lands straight on the top. I don't think you're dead. I think you're alive. So let's pull all. And what casualties did we sustain? Oh no, one of the breezes was killed. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Unfortunately, breeze removed. And the poor hornet, the other one is now gone. Let's advance this force up to attack this tile. Let's try and clear out as much of the flares as possible. The great thing about having these pipelines as vehicles is that they can move. They move very, very slowly, but they can move. Unlike if I built them as structures, they'd basically be exactly the same thing. I wouldn't have to have the rubber, so it would be a little bit cheaper. I don't really need the rubber now, but it just helps. So the first community is ready to engage that target there. Trying to capture this. Actually, there's one way to do it. It's a bit of a cheaty method, but what you do, you place the building down, you then pull it there, and then you can just scrap it immediately, and it instantly picks up any resources nearby. It's a neat little method there. So we're actually going to do this battle first of all, since that's where I'm spawned. Running a little bit low on resources now, down to 60,000. And this time, going to spawn in again. Yeah, so all those there have been spawned in before, but we're going to just double the size of the battle-ish. So it was around about there-ish, but 10k more. This allows a little bit of a stronger battle force to be done this episode. Okay, so the battle has begun. Everything's lined up. Got quite the array of vehicles this time. And oh, facing Chaos and a Beholder. Okay, I'm going to have to try and capture one of those, I think. Let's unpause and see how it all goes. Fighter bomb immediately fires its first barrage and grinds itself down. Thought it'd spawn. Yeah, ducks didn't spawn it high enough. The wood medic though is working well, keeping it alive, and its land system is one of the few land systems, and it's keeping everything alive. I am very, very pleased for that. The Chaos is swinging its blades around as all these vehicles surround it, but it looks like it's more likely to kill one of its friendlies. Let's pull this back in because I want to get myself in position. Jump on the Heavy Hawk, jump down towards the Beholder so I can try and capture that as quickly as possible. But I do kind of want the materials from the capture of that vehicle. Probably going to spawn in on its own at the end. But yeah, if I'm in position, it just makes life that little bit easier for me. What are you doing? You just have a death wish, don't you? Second time you just decided to go into close quarters with a ramming vehicle. Okay, admittedly the first time wasn't your fault. It spawned literally behind you. There we go. The medic doing an excellent job of keeping everyone repaired. Flying by and pulling that out of the damage. The bushwhacker though is falling to pieces, which is a bit of a pain, and it has actually despawned. So, oh, that is ow, yeah. The bushwhacker will though come back, since it was only added in this episode. Chaos Particle Accelerator being pretty ineffectual, not really hitting anything, though the sniper has been disabled, but I think it's been disabled by this little thing shooting it in the ass. Oh, and oh no. Is it going to get... oh dear. Totov sniper is going to get hit. It's getting eaten. Slowly but surely. Oh, that explosion pushed it forwards. And it clipped the rear end. This is not good for the sniper. But the wooden medic is back and repairing it in full force. It's kind of costing me a lot of materials. I've gone up in this battle, so that's kind of good. Trichalon's tanks shells are just bouncing off the heavy armour and the internals of the Chaos. The Mammoth tank, though, is still hurting its friendlies. This wooden medic is doing an incredible job. In fact, all of the lower controlled repair bots have been doing very well. Just this one has LAM, so it's not only repair, it's also being a support, which has been really nice. So now, let's get in the centre of this thing and jump. 2 damage, almost. Gonna try and predict when it spawns in. Like that. Absolute perfect. Can barely see anything because it's so dark, but let's go quickly capture this thing as soon as possible. Yep, it's dead, and there's holes everywhere. Well, let's arc grenade through. And the battle is finished. So, the beholder was destroyed. And yes, 102,000 materials, so that is very nice. And what was destroyed? So, both the bushwhackers were unfortunately destroyed, but they get a free ride this episode. And what else was heavily damaged? So the sniper bot was damaged, but it was repaired. So the sniper chassis was almost fully repaired. Good job to the wooden medic by DJ Flash. Did I actually ever say it was by him? Yeah, it is. It's a really nice design. It's done a really good job. Oh, prepare for battle. Ah, the laser emplacements. I'll probably actually have to adjust these. Maybe give them all, either turn them around so they face in the correct direction, or also play around with some other laser emplacements or the weapons. Because I did have that turret by Red the Rage actually. It was just, well, it wasn't a turret, it wasn't a structure. Kind of want them to be structured so they don't get thrown around. So as normal for this area, the weather is really bad. But the lasers are doing a fantastic job. Damage received heavily on the front of each of the laser turrets. This would have probably been absorbed by the heavy armour. I just changed some of them with prioritization cards to try and target things which are a little bit closer. But that was rather fast kills. Excellent. Now, it's on farm, so I can just get plenty of resources whenever I want. So, that's good. How's the fuel levels? Fuel levels are still doing fine. Kind of want more refineries, though. Okay, there we go. So I've just gone and adjusted all of these to 10 meters and added a couple more in. So that seems to be doing nicely there. Okay, let's go take on this other tile. I want to go attack this one and probably go and attack this tile. I will attack them with full strength and try and clear at least one more of them this episode. So, there's this fight over here. Or this fight over here. No, let's do this one. It's going to be a slightly bigger fight, I think, because it's a 150 strength force. And yeah, well, let's do a ridiculous full-size battle on this one. Okay, so this is the sort of lineup. Everything is going to be spawning in, and it's going to be a real mess. So let us begin this battle. Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be messy. Let's observe it in full glorious fashion. Immediately the lambs start trying to take down some of the missiles coming from the flares, but there is just so many. I don't think the poor wooden medic is going to have much of a chance. Quite a barrage of shots from both sides. Breeze is dashing in, diving in for an attack against the flare's spikes. Dancing in between all four of them, five of them. Those two have merged together in a collision. There is a sixth, but that one doesn't seem to be anywhere nearby. All designs seem to be firing at this one. Is that the sniper? Yes, everything seems to be firing at the poor sniper. I didn't think it had that many guns, but it does have quite a lot of blocks, and it's also very hot with all those thrusters. So it seems to be that those planes love to shoot at hot things. Any casualties? Not much at the moment. A couple of seriously injures, but don't think any casualties sustained by the community forces. Now your rapid fire shots are doing quite nicely now. You're able to take out the flyers. A little bit too far range in order to do that. Few more vehicles damaged down here. What's going on over it? Watch the fight proceeding, but you seem to have taken hit. No, you're just doing okay. It's a bit difficult to tell with. It looked like the lights when this crashed nearby. It looked like this was taking the explosion due to the effects on the red explosion there. Flyers all over taking hits, and friendly fire isn't too great at the moment. Few ramming collisions, but friendly fire is relatively low. While I remember, let's just take these alpha maps off on this tank. So they've gone on that tank. I did see another tank with them on. But looks like the battle's almost over. You've still taken another corner. I have a feeling you're going to die at some point. You're doing well at the moment, but you'd like to ram friends and foe alike. go to main hull and remove the shield projector sight. I think that's most of them off. That one there has got one, but it's ones when they're completely surrounded by shields which I want to remove as soon as possible. The last one here, doing rather well. Surviving against my entire forces. They are in those annoying death spins. Have these good E-series tanks still doing very well as just a solid, robust tank. Very glad I deployed them as as the primary component of this force. They've served very well throughout all these battles. And most of them are alive, yeah. They take damage most battles, but yeah, they're still operational. That's that battle finished. Let's pull all. T-Lung was defeated, but it was only spawned in this battle, so it will get repaired up. Probably should do this battle, but I think I'll just leave it to the beginning of next episode. So I shall end it there. So thank you very much for watching this episode of From the Depths Ashes of the Empire Community Edition. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment below, as it is always great to hear from you lot. Also, be sure to comment and inform me if you would like me to change to a centralised or localised resource for the rest of this series, as I am considering changing to localised now that I have the pipeline set up. Otherwise, that's it for me for now, and I shall see you next time. But until then, I'm out. Goodbye!